Insurance, the more than 500 State Farm agents throughout Indiana. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Are the real estate professionals of the 121 Century 21 offices in Indiana. By True Value Hardware. Got a tough job? You can do it with True Value Hardware stores. And by Tricept Herbicide, PPI weed control that puts you in control. Hello again, everybody. This is Don Fisher along with Max German, welcoming you to one of two sites for the Midwest Regional in this 55th annual NCAA College Basketball Tournament. Tonight, the final first-round matchup in this site's long first day of play will pit the number one ranked and top-seeded Hoosiers of Indiana against the 16th-seeded Raiders of Wright State University. The Hoosiers enter tonight's game owning a 28-3 record that includes the Big Ten Championship, while Wright State stands 20-9 for the year and gained the NCAA field by winning the Mid-Continent Conference Tournament. Max German, there can be little doubt as to the favorites' role, but the Raiders cannot be taken lightly.
No, they certainly can't be taken lightly. They obviously have some good talent out there. They've played a fairly credible schedule. They certainly have a coach that's been around a long, long time, so they are not novices at this game, and Indiana must play one of its better games if it is to move on to the next round.
Certainly one of the things about this Indiana basketball team has been their consistency through this season, a trait that they previously in other years did not possess.
I think that's the biggest difference between last year's team and this year's team is the fact that they have been consistent. They have not let things get away from them as the team did last year, and now they've got to maintain it through the tournament.
Wright State, on the other hand, has a ball club that even though they're seeded 16th, maybe shouldn't be that low simply because they've got two players the NBA scouts are just salivating over.
Well, that's right. They've got some outstanding talent out there. They've got a couple of good shooters, as Bob Knight said last night in his press conference, as well as somebody who can handle the ball. So they have a lot of good ingredients going for them out there, and they've played a league that's not a pushover by any means. So I think this is probably a little bit misnomer. I think almost everybody agrees they are not your normal 16th seed.
Well, we had a chance to talk with Ralph Underhill, the head coach of Wright State, prior to tonight's ball game. We'll do that in a moment, but first, let's pause for the 60-second network timeout.
This NCAA basketball game is presented by University Broadcasting with 2 sports networks and 7 radio stations. University Broadcasting is rapidly becoming a leader in the broadcast industry. Our networks use state-of-the-art transmission and satellite distribution quality. This reflects our commitment to programming and marketing excellence, bringing Hoosiers the finest in sports entertainment. University Broadcasting, establishing a new tradition for radio excellence in Indiana.
If you took advantage of last year's low interest rates and refinanced your mortgage, here's an important tax reminder from the Indiana CPA Society. Unlike the points on your original mortgage, points paid on a refinanced mortgage are fully deductible in the year paid only to the extent that you used the loan's proceeds to make home improvements. The balance must be deducted equally each year over the life of the loan. For more information on this or other tax or business matters, contact a certified public accountant or the Indiana CPA Society. CPAs make a difference.
Well, back once again, we are getting set for tonight's ball game between Indiana and the Wright State Raiders. We had a chance to talk, as we said earlier, with the head coach of Wright State, Ralph Underhill, now in his 15th season. Well, apparently we've got some technical difficulty. Max, let me fool around with this a second, but we did have a chance to talk with Underhill today, and obviously he felt that his ball club was a ball club that's going to compete with Indiana.
Well, just a word about Underhill. He's now in his 15th season as the Raiders' head man here. He was an assistant down at Tennessee Chattanooga before coming to the Wright State team, and he's been there, as I mentioned, 15 years. Most of those were when they were Division II programs. Underhill led the Raiders to 7 NCAA appearances, which included a national championship in 1983 when he was named National Coach of the Year. But now they've moved up into Division I, and he has obviously got them moving along pretty well. And this basketball team is one that could well give the Hoosiers some problems.
All right, we have our tape ready with Ralph Underhill. I don't know why it wouldn't start, but it wouldn't move. We're ready now. Ralph Underhill, the head coach of Wright State.
This Wright State basketball team has come on at the end of the season. Really, you've had a pretty good overall year, 20-9. Just some thoughts on how your ball club's playing right now.
Well, we're playing pretty good right now. We had some injuries earlier to Hammonds and Underberth, and we never did get Hammonds Hammond's back after the second game, and Underford got back after 8.5 weeks on an operation. So we're bringing him off the bench now, and the Harriman kid that came along as a freshman, and of course Woods and Edwards and the Har have been playing well for us all year, as well as Holderman. So we've had a pretty good groove going, and we got it kind of hot there at the end, and we've got some good individuals and some good kids, and we played some good programs this year.
Edwards is obviously the guy everybody talks about.
Well, he's about 26, almost 27 a game, and he led the conference in rebounding also, and he was second in steals, and he shoots a good field goal percentage and free throw percentage, and he handles well. He just does a lot of good things for a 6'8" kid that can move up and down the floor.
Coach, we know that you've scored 90 points a ball game this year, so you obviously want to get up and down the floor, and you must have a running game, huh?
Well, we do, but if it's not a running game, we'll just be satisfied to keep the game close, whatever's happening, until we got a chance to take hold. Preferably, we'd rather move it a little bit, but that doesn't always, in tournament ball, sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. I mean, you look at some of the low-scoring games that you see in championships and things of that type. So the thing that we're out there to do is to try to win the game, whether it's a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game.
What do you like to do defensively?
Well, we play a lot of different defenses, but basically, mostly this year, we played a lot of man-to-man all year. We have played zones at times, but this has been a pretty good man-to-man ball club. It just depends on the kind of team we're playing sometimes and what we'll try to do.
What's your impressions of Indiana, Coach?
Oh, they're a dynamite team. They were in the Final Four last year and got all those guys back, basically, and a year older, and 28-3 and 17-1 in the Big Ten. So, got a great coach. It's got a lot of accolades with national championships and Coach of the Year honors and Olympic honors and Pan Am honors. So really, what else can you say? They're just a great basketball team, and we're going to have our hands full on this floor with them, but we'll be here.
What do you think of is there a matchup situation here that you think or feel that you can take advantage of?
No, not really. I just think that they got a lot of kids that can move and shoot the ball out on the floor and move around and score inside too. Multi-facet type of ball club, and you don't have to have a lot of depth. They go 9 deep, and if you play 8 or 9, that's considered a lot of depth, and he plays mostly everybody.
And that's Ralph Underhill as we talked to him prior to tonight's ball game. And Max, he will